The creators call it I'm schmacked.
I'm schmacked.
Getting schmacked.
I'm schmacked.
I'm schmacked. Getting schmacked. Well, Chris, it's called getting schmacked.
Don't let this be our final song.
Welcome everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Smac podcast. Today it's been another entrepreneurial month. This month, I've got no one other than Sean McAleavey from Beulah at Valet with me. Sean, thanks for coming on.
No worries, Sean, thanks for having me.
No, pleasure's all mine, as usual with all my guests. But interesting one this week because you're one of those people I've known since school. Like quite a long time to know each other. Maybe we weren't that close in school and stuff like that, but knew of each other.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like we're some of these people have like, you know, we both have that same sort of mindset and the paths have sort of crossed, and we're a better place to fucking meet back up than on a podcast.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So like, let's just break down straight away what you actually do. So, for anyone that doesn't know the area of Newry, the thought of charging more than £5 for a car wash at one stage was like the thought of charging more than £3 for a pint in a pub. Like it was like unheard of. So talk me through that initial bit.
Well, look, I would like to think I brought the average price for a car wash well up in the local area anyway. Yeah, so basically, for anyone who doesn't know me, I detail clean cars for those who don't know what detailing is. Started off as just a simple car wash. Actually, was the whole business idea was just a cash cow for me to get to Australia.
Really?
Yeah. So I was supposed to go to Australia and was in between jobs and started helping out another local detailer and just sort of thought like I actually really enjoy doing this and like, I really like getting up and going and doing this every day. So went to my own with sort of an idea and had a location all in mind. And
it was interesting because like I remember from school, like you're like one of the first people to have a car, and like you just there's different types of boys. I'm not into cars one bit, like and like there's boys that just fucking love them. It's either like cars or football to me. It's like the two things like. Yeah. But for people that love cars, I always used to sit and think like, you know, you look at it from the other side and you're like, this is weird. But whenever I seen you doing the Valet and stuff like that in detail, I was like, this makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah. And it was just like a good follow. Obviously, like from I left school, I was selling cars and all. And it was just a good, you know, I had an eye for cars, and I've always loved cars, so it was good.
It literally made so much sense. Like anyone that knows you is just like, oh fucking, of course.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's nothing worse that I hate seeing than like people you see like, you like after school and all, and you're like, what are you doing now? And they tell you some job, and you're like, ooh, you know, like you doing that makes no sense. So it must be a nice feeling every day, you know, waking up and going to work and be like, this is something I actually have a passion for.
Yeah, it definitely makes things easier, you know, getting up every day and going and doing something that you actually want to do and you enjoy. And like, I'm lucky that I have some unbelievable customers as well, which, you know, makes everything so much easier as well, you know.
It's like, because the big thing I was talking about, Sasha, who's in us in the last podcast about entrepreneurship, it's like, you know, taking that initial step and setting up your business. You said like you're sort of working with cars and like detailing with someone else, but to take that initial step, what was that like, you know, to actually get behind it all?
It was scary, like, you know, it is. Firstly, you know, I'm lucky that I was in the position that my ones could help me start my business. So, you know, started off just a simple wee car wash on a petrol forecourt, and you know, it's a big jump because you're going from earning a good wage to, you know, my first week in the car wash, I think I lifted less than £100. So, you know, you're sitting there all day from 9 to 6. You know, at that stage I was charging £7 a car wash. Yeah. So like you can imagine, you know, 1 or 2 cars a day. It's a slow day. You're sitting watching it on Netflix. Yeah. My own car was cleaned meticulously every day.
The cleanest car in your
Yeah, literally. Which obviously helped the business as well. You know, I had a nice car, so you know, keep clean. It's good for business.
It works both ways.
Yeah.
But like, thinking back to that stage, how long ago was that when you were first doing that?
So my first day was 23rd of June 2019.
See when people say the specific date of something, it actually gives me fucking goosebumps.
Yeah, first day, 23rd of June. So.
That's fucking mad. There's nothing in my head. That's how I know I've done nothing significant in my life. There's no date in my head apart from like my birthday. It sticks out.
Well, like the only reason I remember that is because like I used to keep notes on my phone of what my take was every day. So like I just go on the top of the list would always be 23rd of June. So.
And then for like say that like first week you're saying like £100. Did you think to yourself like after the first like here like I don't think it's gonna work, or did you always have that like self belief?
Always had a self belief in myself. Maybe the first, like, in general maybe, but the first week, it was hard. The second week was hard. Third week was hard. But you know, I'm lucky that I have quite a supportive family that they kept me going and sort of kept me grounded, and you know, that's what you need. You need a good support circle around you.
I love how you like honestly just open up and just go like, yeah, you know, my family backed me and they basically got me to the position. There's nothing I hate more. Do you know when you see like these like motivational like talkers and speakers and stuff like that, and it goes, like I just work so hard, but you need, like, there's nothing wrong having it, but you need that, you know,
You do, like,
the arm around you.
You need a bit of help, like, and like, you know, people would be out there saying, oh, his dad helped him, or he didn't do that himself. Like, my dad's never cleaned a car for me. You know, so, and yes, he gave me, like, whatever it was to start the actual business itself. Sure, all I needed was a power washer and a few chemicals. And washman. That's me good.
And then,
you know.
because, like, you obviously had that, like, the eye for it to do the actual job that you needed to do, and was that something you, like, did you first realise that from your own car, or was it, like, just, what really caused it to be, like, I can go do this?
I think, you know, I've always sort of, like, I've always had been extremely passionate about cars. Like, I've always, like, I always remember, like, Sunday night, me and my dad would always sit down and watch Top Gear, and I was just set and go, like, but, yeah, just always helped, like, my ones cleaning their cars growing up, and whenever I was selling cars, like, presenting them to be sold, like, I've always been into cleaning cars, so it's just like, I've went to my dad, like, a lot of stupid business ideas, and it's like, first time he's like, you know what, like, I actually think that would be a good fit for you, so that's...
And were you one of the people, because I feel like I'm one of these people that's like, I'm always going to work for myself at some stage, like, maybe not right away, but I'll work for myself. Did you always feel like you'll work for yourself?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I've always felt like I work for myself. I would end up working for myself. My previous employer always told me I not suited to working for anyone else. I'm a bad employee. I'm late. I was late tonight, so yeah, I was always sort of thought I would end up working for myself.
I think I'm probably a wee bit similar. Like, I've had some, like, fucking ridiculously stupid ideas. I think one last week, like, I always write them in my notes. I was like, this is going to be the $1 million idea. I very rarely would execute on it. I think the last one was pint cocktails. It's like a pint of cocktail, and you're just like, nah, that's not it. We'll just go back to drunk. But you get them random ideas, and you're just hoping to do one of them. I always say, like,
like, you know,
you're just hoping one idea to stick.
And I've, like, went to my dad with some stupid ideas, like pancake shop in Uri and all, like, stupid stuff, but, like, stuff that I think would work. And you know, you just have to believe in yourself that, like, one of these ideas will strike gold, like, and, you know, I've always had good belief in myself. I've always been, like, a bit entrepreneurial, like, sold sweets in school, everything like that, like, and I just think if you believe in yourself, like, eventually you will strike gold. And
talk to me about the selling sweets in school, because it's a bit of a taboo subject in schools.
You used to do it as well, didn't
you?
Yeah,
there was a stage where I went through it, but, like, to me, you're like, if I was a teacher and I seen that, I'd be like, you know, let them crack on, you know, let them do, you know, I get the sort of side of, like, you know, sweets in school and, you know, unhealthy and stuff like that there, but, like, that's such a key skill. Like, that's, like, you know, that's someone that's an entrepreneur straight away, and for you to just shut that down completely, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I got called a couple of times, especially when your mum's a teacher in the school. It's a bit of an awkward one. She always just said, "Now, if you get caught, I didn't know about it." I was like, right, okay, but yeah, selling sweets in school. If I was a teacher myself, probably would turn a blind eye to it, or get my cut. But, yeah, it's probably a difficult one for the school itself. You know, because, like, you can imagine if that was probably what, you know, the people who did it made money from it, because if the school let it happen, everyone would probably do it.
Yeah, it's like a fucking, it's like, I don't know, it's like the underworld, like, it's fucking, like, dodgy school things, like, it's like fucking, it's almost like
Newry streets in school.
Yeah, it literally is. It's almost like a fucking, like, Netflix documentary, and you just do the exact same storyline for selling, like, drugs, but, like, a school show, like, but for, like, sweets, like.
Literally.
I feel like in schools now, I don't know, but I feel like there probably are more dangerous stuff going on in sweets.
Yeah, probably, but
schools
seem to be going the opposite ways now. Like, I know, like, my auntie was telling me, like, she's young kids in primary school, and, like, they're not like sweets or anything in school anymore or anything like that. Like, so, like, in their lunch.
No way.
Yeah, so schools are definitely. I wouldn't want to be in school now. Probably like I didn't like school when I was in it. So.
You're serious, man. I hated school when I was in it. Like, and I don't know. I can never really pinpoint what it was. I like to think it was the fact that people like told me what to do. Like, that's what I always put it down as. Like, see, whenever I was told you have to have your homework done for tomorrow, immediately I just goes, or what? Like, like, that was the, like, first thing I thought. But I'm pretty sure you're the same to an extent. And it's like, you know, school just wasn't one of those things you're passionate about.
Didn't care about school. Like, I actually just didn't. Like, and it sounds stupid, especially because my mum was a teacher in the school I was in, and, like, from quite an academic family. Like, I think I'm, like, on my mum's side of the family, I'm the only grandchild that didn't go to university. And there's, like, a good 20 of us. So, you know.
And what was that feeling like? Did you ever feel, like, guilty or anything like that?
It's hard because, like, when you're from such an academic family, like, it was hard for me to leave school and leave the Abbey, because, like, my ones don't, before, like, they didn't really think you could make it without education. University education or whatever. So, you know, I suppose that was another motivating factor for me to go out and do it, because, you know, I wanted to show everyone, like, everyone in my family that I could do it, basically.
That you can do it. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Did you make it all the way to 70 or no?
I made it to, basically what happened was I didn't get back in for the A levels I wanted to in the Abbey.
Right.
But they were like, you can do this, this and this. So I went back and did those A levels,
Right.
and was like, just didn't enjoy the Abbey at all, like in any aspect really. And you know, I got to about Easter time and I was like bogged down with the ICT coursework, and I was just remember sitting my mum down like one night and was just like, you know what, this just isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll be going back.
It's nice though. It's nice to have that relationship though, Joe. It's like a parent where you can just turn around and be like, look, I'm really not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, and like it was awkward in our house. Like my mum's a school teacher, my dad's a pharmacist. Like they're both academic people. Like, and my brother, he's studying medicine. Like he's an academic as well. So you know, it's a difficult conversation to be having, especially when you don't have a plan. You know, you need to have a plan in place if you're going to do something like that, and I didn't.
So what did you do after that then?
So was was like Easter time. I worked part time at the races for the bookies. Yeah. So that season was really just kicking off. So I just went full time into that over summer. September rolled around, went into the tech to do business management. Like, is it like a BTEC?
A BTEC or
level
something,
3, I think. But it was just coursework, and I remember just like I went to the Stole to the racing festival for the week, took a week off tech, and just went down to it for the week, and I was just like, yeah, this is what I'd rather be doing now.
Yeah.
Like I went back after that and I was like just sitting bogged down coursework again. I was like, I left the Abbey to get away from this, so like what am I doing here? So get out of that again. But like, cause tech, you went to tech center yourself, it's not like school, you know, you're not in all day every day, you're in when you're in basically. So that allowed me, the fella that I was working for at the races, he also sold cars, so like after tech I was jumping in a car and driving it to Dublin, delivering it for him, getting the bus home. So whenever I left tech, I just sort of more or less went full time into working for him, you know.
And do you think that first job of like, you know, working at the races and selling cars and stuff, not to put words in your mouth, but do you feel like you learned more in that, you know, initial stage than you had done in school in terms of what it is you're finally going to be doing? Looking back on it?
Yeah, because I just loved the buzz. I just loved the thrill, you know. You're working in a business, two businesses that were turning over millions every year, and like, you know, it was a real thrill, like, you know, even everything from like the buying and the selling to the running to pick up cars, dropping off, fly out to England, fucking first thing in the morning. You like swear,
yes. Trust me,
fly out to England like 5 in the morning, pick up a car somewhere and drive it home like overnight on the boat or whatever. Like it was just, you know, something different, good crack. No one else my age was doing it or anything close to it at all. Like, and I just loved it, loved every minute of it.
And how did you feel doing all that? Like, did you feel like people were looking at you, or like did you care what people thought, or?
Again, didn't really care. Like, you know, everyone else was stuck in school or going
I'm
to
so
university.
jealous you figured it. I'm so jealous you figured it out so early.
You know, I'd say like I always have had like quite an old head on my shoulders. Like, just like people my own age, just, you know, they don't, what they're into doesn't really interest me. Like, you know, going out on the piss every weekend, like living for the weekend is not really my thing. Like, and you know, I'd rather knuckle down and get it done and just.
Would you have more of like the, you know, the grind mentality? Would you say?
Well, like, you know, whenever I was working at the races, you know, it's, you know, you're never off Saturdays and Sundays for a start, or like you'd be working Boxing Day and like the 4 days after it, and you know, I never had the opportunity to have those social nights out or days out or anything like that. I just done my work, and you know, I was working two jobs, the bookies and the cars simultaneously.
And I suppose for like bookmakers and stuff like that, like holiday events are like big times of the year.
Yeah, you know, like you're, as I said, like you couldn't have drinking Christmas Day because you'd be working Boxing Day, and like the Boxing Day and the 4 days that follow are 5 of the biggest days of the year. Yeah. And like Easter, you're always in Ferry House. You know, New Year's are always at Punchestown. Like you always knew where you're going to be at those specific dates of the year. So like you never planned anything outside of that, because like it, you know, you give your life to that.
Yeah, shit, like. I think a lot of people miss the point, right? I think like a lot of people miss the whole, like, you know, be miserable Monday to Friday and then enjoy realistically your Saturday, because Sunday you're thinking, oh fuck, you know, I have to go back to work again.
Well, for me it really wasn't like that, because like, you know, the cars was intense, buying and selling cars, and then you got your, you know, during the summer you maybe only did a half day in the office in the cars, and then you're away at a race meeting, because the race meetings far more frequent during the summer. Like, so in that respect, you know, the racing was like sort of my release, like, because you go out and have the crack, and you know, it wasn't hard work, you know, like my typical day at the races were, get to the races 2 hours before the first race, set up, that took about half an hour,
Yeah.
go get your dinner, come back down, work for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute break while the race is on, work for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute, like repeat that
Yeah.
cycle 7
Yeah.
times, pack up and go home.
And you're like getting that, like, depending on each person, like it'll suit some people, it won't suit some people, but you're getting that social interaction and that buzz, and there's money
Yeah,
flowing,
and like,
and
you
the
know
whole
what it
place is
is, like,
buzzing.
you know, you can just be standing there and then the next thing someone can run up 5 grand on this, 2 grand on that,
Yeah.
1,000 pound on that, like, and it's like, right, what am I going to do here? You need to settle yourself, have a look around you, see what everyone else is doing, and then, you know, make your next move.
Mhm.
And like when you're dealing with like hundreds of thousands, it's, you know, it's exciting, like, you know.
Have you ever heard anyone say that you're lucky that you fell into what you fell into, or like you're lucky that you're at the races because people seem that, you know, it's quite cool and glamorous almost to be at the.
Yeah.
Did you ever have people say you're lucky to be into that?
Yeah, all the time, but like, it's easy for someone to say that. You
I
know,
fucking love that, yeah.
it's, you know, and even I see it now, like people like starting up balloting and all, like anyone like the hoover their mum's car one Saturday and next weekend they're a Val, they're like, you know, it's especially over the summer months you see it, like, and lockdown really was brutal, like, you
Yeah.
know, because, you know, it's easy to do it when it's like out outside. You
Yeah.
know, do it the last week in December when it's pissing rain on
Yeah.
you, and you know it's, or do it whenever you're trying to wash the car and the water's freezing on it.
Mhm.
You
Exactly.
know, like anyone can do it. You know, it's easy for someone to sit and look in and say that, but
Yeah.
reality they wouldn't do it themselves. So
True. I think people also miss the point in terms of like, you know, there's by no means luck in how you got here. You made hard decisions to, you know, leave school. Not an
yeah,
easy
and like I
conversation to
made the
have.
connections myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the fella that I was working for, he was a neighbour of ours that like I was good mates with his son, and just by the off chance when I was like I started working at the races when I was 12. So like,
Okay.
what was everyone else doing when they were 12?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm some like I love work and like, I just live for working, but I'm not saying that. But like, I was just friends with his son, and his son was going to the races, and he said to me like, oh, do you want to come with us?
Mhm.
And then like I went and I just caught the bug, and then like
Yeah.
just progressed from there basically. But like whenever I started driving, that was when I really got involved,
Mhm.
because like you could drive the length of the country, you know.
I don't know how you would enjoy that. To me, I drove recently from here, from Newry down to Dingle, which is like 5 hours or something like that. I'm just I'm sitting there in a Mark 5 Golf from like 2007 French, which isn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but like I'm like, oh, just I would pay someone to take me here.
Yeah,
like,
like there was times whenever like I could, like I remember there was one time I flew out to London at about 4 in the morning out of Dublin, so I had to get left down to the airport like 2 in the morning. So I was dead on, flew over, got a taxi for about 2 hours down to Kent to lift this car, drove it home, hit traffic in London, was delayed, ended up missing the boat, had to get a different boat. And there's a racetrack in Kilkenny called Gorham Park,
Mhm.
so I docked in Belfast at 8 in the morning, and I just drove straight to Gorham Park and not even
No way.
home, just straight down the road. I think from Belfast about 4 hour drive. So like literally like it was just, the lifestyle was non-stop, so
Yeah.
like you didn't get time to slow down, or
Mhm.
you know, you were just on the go all the time, like, and that's what I loved about it too.
So what happens to you then when you do have time? Because you said here so far, like this 18 minutes has been go non-stop, always this, like that. So what actually is life like for you whenever it does stop, or does it drive you mad?
Like a day off.
Like a day
Drive.
off? Yeah.
Usually like wash my own cars.
Just constantly wash cars.
I just like I really struggle to switch off.
Yeah.
I really do, and it's one thing that does everyone's head, and I really don't know what to do on a day off.
You'd rather be working.
Yeah.
That's mad.
But it's you know, whenever you love what you do, it's
Mhm.
not work. You know, it's
Yeah.
so easy for me to go and do something like that, or
Mhm.
you know, it's satisfying to get when you stand back and like there last week finished off a Lamborghini, and like that's someone's went and given you 300 grand for that car, like, and they've entrusted it
Yeah.
to you for a week.
Mhm.
You've done your thing on it, and see when you stand back and that person comes, well maybe it's not the same whenever someone's really successful, but
Yeah.
see when someone like pays the money to have their car detailed, and maybe they can't explicitly afford that,
Mhm.
their reaction, or like, it's so satisfying. Like, it's not about the money, that's part payment, getting
Yeah.
someone's reaction of what they think.
Mhm. You'd almost be like the payment in itself. Not that it's not enough, but you know what I mean. That wee extra bit of like them, like Joe being overjoyed by it, or
Yeah.
like shocked by it, is really what
Yeah.
makes your day, basically.
Like, if I'm doing like, and then this is what I found, like really successful people don't get excited like by that sort of thing. Like, so
Mhm.
like if I'm doing like a really nice car for someone, like a car that like for me is a big deal, like when they come to lift that, they might not get as excited as someone who gets their Golf R, or you know, someone who's into their cars, like,
Mhm.
and, you know, then you'd be going home feeling a bit down and depressed.
Yeah.
where you didn't get that reaction you were wanting.
So interesting, like especially with like starting a company, you do take it so personally.
Yeah.
Don't you? You really like
Literally.
like if someone comes up and says I didn't like that, they may as well say I don't like you.
Yeah, literally.
And that's what I've got from talking to like people like yourself, young entrepreneurs. Like you literally put your heart in your sleeve with it.
I do, like, and like, I do all nighters, and like, I really do put everything into this business. And like, whenever, like, a couple of weeks ago, I'll give you an example. There, a guy texts me for a price on a job, and he says to me, "That's way too expensive."
Okay.
And I'm sitting there like, right, well, that's your perception that like you don't think I'm worth that price.
Yeah.
Like it's not way too expensive. It's way too expensive for you, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people are paying it all day long.
That sounds so cocky, but I completely understand what you're saying.
Like, whenever I first started this business, I definitely didn't charge enough, and it definitely cost me customers in the long run. So like, the advice I give to anyone who's starting now would be, charge what you want to get paid, because like, say when you try to jump your price, you're just going to lose those people that you've spent getting.
Oh, because I'm not going to give you more.
They're not moving with you.
I give you a cracking example.
They're here. You're here now.
Yeah.
So they're not going up with you.
I'll give you a good example. I hope the guys listen. I had a barber there for the last like year, and I'm literally going to the shop. The owner will be there, and I go, I'm not going to you, the owner guy. I'm going to this guy. He's fucking unreal cutting hair, and I was like, I'm going to you. Then he left that place and started cutting hair from home, and I was like, a tenner I'd give him, just go over and get a haircut every 2 weeks. And then during lockdown, he goes, it's going to be 15 quid now. And I was just like, no. But he's really fucking good at what he does. But you're right, as soon as you get that, if he always charged 15 quid, I would have no issue with it, looking back on it. But see, once you try and make that jump, there's just something in it. You're just like, nah.
Yeah.
For the customer, like from a customer perspective, it's like almost like, you almost feel hard done by.
Yeah.
What in reality it should have always, like, for what you were getting a bargain, really.
Yeah.
Is how to, I suppose, is how to look at it.
But like, there's people will go with different services. Like, I don't know if you've seen so many stories lately. I've been like putting up about bad inquiries that I've been getting.
Okay.
And like, if someone rings me and goes, how much is, I know they're not booking me, because
Right, okay.
they want it done today.
Yeah.
And they're price focused. If you're price focused, you're not going to book me unless you have loads of money.
Okay.
Because, if you're just looking for the cheapest service, I'm not the cheapest. So, and if you ring me, you're not going to get a valet tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like, I always say to people, like, you wouldn't ring a painter and ask him to come to your house tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a skilled individual. I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but like, I've spent a lot of money getting trained. I've spent a lot of money on my insurance. I spent a lot of money on my products. So like, it's not like a cheap robo job. Like,
yeah. It's literally, you're not just taking around to like USA car wash that you see fucking everywhere.
Literally, like, that's the thing. And like, everything, I don't have anyone working for me. I do it all myself. So
yeah.
Like,
talk about how tough, like, I know we've sort of mentioned it, like, and you work hard and stuff like that, but like, just how tough is it, the hours you put in on a daily basis, like, to give people an understanding of what goes into, detailing to the extent that you do it too, because I don't think people understand.
Sorry.
You're right. Phone ring 101 podcasting. No, you're
You
okay.
knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Grind never stops.
So what was the question? Sorry.
So the question was, like, just tell people that don't understand, like, because we're talking about detail, and like, go and check Sean's page out, the Beulah page, like, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. But like, what goes into, say, what's the best package you do in terms of like what you provide?
So like, we do like a full interior exterior protection package, which takes me over a week to do.
What?
It would take me over a week.
So the person just doesn't have their car for a week?
They just don't have their car for a week, and that's their problem. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
So you literally take their car for a full week?
Yeah.
And just everything in like a fine tooth comb, go over it all?
More or less, yeah, but that would be like full ceramic coatings, paint correction, everything like that.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah.
But like, the way you do it, it's like, there's a science to it.
There is, like,
you're not just taking your Henry Hoover, like, and
no,
just...
well, I have a George. But no, the detailing itself means to do something safely.
Right, okay.
So like, you're doing everything very safely, and you're aiming, like, where like the local car wash is just like spraying the door down, wiping it and hoovering it off, or wiping it off or whatever. I'm like going in with like sometimes cocktail sausage stick to make sure the wee bits of dust, or like we use steam. So like, basically when you leave your car to me, it's like a certain, I achieve like certain levels. So. But it's more the detailing side of it now. I'm just trying to sort of move away from the valeting.
So break down the difference there between valet and detailing.
Valeting when I say valeting, I mean like interior, of course.
Okay.
So detailing is exterior. So like,
right, okay.
The likes of when the sun hits your car, there's these things called swirl marks. So it's basically whenever it looks like there's spiders webs all over your car.
Okay.
So I remove that, or like any scratches and stuff like that. And, like, it's moved into, you know, we can organise alloy wheel refurbishment and everything like that, and we'll organise like body work. I want to take the hassle out of people's car maintenance. So like,
Right. Okay.
if you come to me, like there a couple of weeks ago, there was a girl, she'd scratched the whole wing of her car, so basically she said, I want that fixed. So I organised the repair, did all the back and forwards with the body shop, running up and down, you know. I basically done all the work for her.
Yeah.
And
You leave it with me and I'll take care of it, basically. It's more or less like.
Yeah.
But the thing that really blows my mind is, I think I've seen you do, I'm pretty sure this is correct, with brand new cars out of the factory.
Yeah, brand new. That last week had 600 miles on.
And it needs work done.
Paint corrections.
Why is that a thing?
Because you can imagine that car's come from Italy, right?
Right.
So it's been on boats.
Mm-hmm.
It's been lying in docks. It's been on lorries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of contaminants in the area, especially in like industrial areas like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all stuck in the car. Then it lands in a Lamborghini, and it's not washed right. They've just done a quick wee wash on it,
Yeah.
cheap wash. So like, it's marks. And then your man, whenever he lifted it, took it to a Middle Eastern car wash, as you do, and also washed it with a sponge himself. He sent me a photo of the car, and it was just like a wee Halfords bucket and a sponge lying inside it. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, why would you buy yourself a Lamborghini if you're going to do that to it?
Basically.
Do you think that's a common thing people do? You know, get these, probably just don't really understand.
People don't understand, they don't know, and they don't realise like one bad wash can ruin a car. Like, so,
Really?
Yeah.
See, what I find really interesting connecting this all back to the school stuff is like you said how like, you know, you weren't really interested in school and like academics and stuff like that there. But the whole car detailing and like the correction stuff in itself is a lot to fucking learn.
It is like, and like, you know, I didn't realise until I was helping that other detailer what actually goes into cleaning the car and all,
Yeah.
and it just really fascinated me. But like, if you had told me when we were in the Abbey, you know, you're going to be cleaning cars in whatever, how long we out of the Abbey, 5 years now,
Yeah.
6 years, you're going to be cleaning cars in 6 years, I would say, yeah, dead on, slide on,
Yeah.
stupid. But I think that's one thing that it definitely has taught me, like, everyone should have respect for what everyone does, because like, even though, yes, I hoover people's cars and like clean their shit out of their cars,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's treated me pretty well, like, and like, I think that's one thing, you know, cleaners and all, like, people should have more respect for those sort of jobs, because like, at the end of the day, if that's what that person wants to do to pay their bills, and they're probably making a good income out of it, then you're not really one to pass comment on it, like.
Yeah, like you know, like people don't understand. There's like different levels to everything. Like some people are happy to make do their certain wage, and like as you said, like the cleaners go into this. Say a cleaner goes into school, they're happy to go in. They're paying for their house, and say they have like, you know, maybe they have like 40% of their income left after they pay for the house.
Yeah.
Where you have someone that's a fucking hotshot bank or whatever, and they're spending this fucking ridiculous money on a house, car, things they can't afford, and they have maybe 20% less of their disposable income. Who's happier in that situation? Do you know what I mean? Let them
like,
crack on.
It's like, you know, a good example would be like, I met like a fairly infamous character from our year in the Abbey in Downey's there
right.
a couple of months ago, and he was just talking down to me, and he's like, still doing that car cleaning thing, are you?
I hate.
And I was just
you're
literally
gonna have to tell me who it was
thinking,
afterwards.
Like, well, I'll tell you after, but I was literally just thinking like, you still busting your balls for someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm following what I want to do. I'm following my dream, my passion, and you're working for someone else 9 to 5 and then going on the piss all weekend. So
Yeah.
like, I bet you I'm happier than you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like,
even though I work more hours than you, but like, that's the thing with being self-employed. Like, you only get out what you put in. So like, if you want to just like slip in at 9 and slip out at 5,
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna get too far being self-employed that way. Like,
and like, so
unless you're working off a really high margin sort of job.
yeah, no, of course. So would you say then you find it easy going to work every day, or do you still find like that, you know?
For the stage my business is at now, for what I can charge for what I do, yeah, it's easy.
It's easy to get up on.
Yeah. But like, whenever I was only in the car wash taking like £7, or like, even when I was in, because obviously I had a bigger shed before COVID and all, and it was stressful because it was expensive when I was in the centre of town, and like I wasn't getting to charge what I can charge now, basically, because it was more volume focused.
It's interesting because you've definitely, like, you've come through hard times, and like even just difficulties of like charging to start out with, COVID happened.
I honestly thought my business was over.
You thought it was done?
Like, yeah, it really did, because like I never got any grants or any funding or any. I never got a penny off the government to keep my business going. It's just like, again, with the help of my ones, like, you know, that's the only way I'm still going.
I mean, I'm not asking you to talk about it too much because I know people get all fucking yappy about these things, but like, it must have been so frustrating to take someone's car when there's no one else near it to clean it, and then someone turns around and goes, oh, well, like, you know, that's a COVID risk. It would have drove me insane.
Was like, you know,
And especially when you had like the
because,
COVID police out, if you went anywhere on the sleigh and did it, you know, people wanted you to go do that sort of stuff, like, and catch you.
I'd say I'm one of those people that like took COVID quite seriously, and in the fact that, like, you know, yes, it probably won't affect me that badly, but like, you know, my parents are on 160 and my dad's not far off, and you know, I have elderly grandparents and stuff like that, and you know, you have to think about like other people, not just yourself, in that respect. Like, and you know, I was thinking at the start as well, like, can you imagine if, you know, you find out you got, I know we have all this test and trace now, but you find out you're in COVID, like, try and retrace your steps to like think of every person you interact with in a day.
Yeah.
You
Especially
know,
when you're being reckless.
even if you're not trying to interact with people, you still will, so you just have to sort of bear all that in mind.
That's good. It's good that you could look at it from that point of view. Like, I know people I suppose get greedy then and just be like, you know, fuck you, it's my business, you know, I need to do what I need to do to survive and all. And
but I was lucky, like, I still live at home. My only outputs were my car every month, so you know, I could take a step back a wee bit and, you know, do a wee bit less, and it was a good time. You know, my brother's been away in uni in Liverpool for the last couple of years. He came home, so you know, we've always been quite close, and it was good, you know, spend an extended amount of time with him.
I've said it to a lot of people, like COVID, whether, like, I know it was horrible what's happened, but like, when you look at like the value of time, you're never going to get that again.
No, never. And like, that was a beautiful thing for like so many people our age to be able to come home from university and live at home again for a couple of months, and no stress of anything really. Like.
And like just a chance for like people, like, I just know, like, a lot of people I know that are in university, you know, just the stress of being like short of money, which is a fucking massive thing for university students. I've been there, maxed out overdrafts, you name it. But like, there was no need to spend any money. You weren't going anywhere, so you didn't have to buy anything. Like food, like, you know, you're living at home, so parents are taking everything in. Only one person went for grocery shopping in most houses. Joe.
Like, that was a good thing even for me. Like, it really slowed. For my left school, I've just been going 110 miles an hour the whole time. Like, and you know, it really slowed things down for me as well.
Yeah.
Just, you know, be a bit more grateful for what you have around you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now it's gonna work both ways. Like, especially for business owners too. Like, you had that lull where there's nothing, but after every bust there's a boom. There has to be. So things start picking up again. I'm sure all you have to do is go outside. The roads are busier. Car wash is busier. You know, like, it all knocks on. Like,
yeah, and I'm busier than ever, and people are spending more money than ever. Like, I ran a garage and a car dealership, and like, he's busier than ever. And you know, like, it's good to see everyone getting a turn, and you know, the money's staying here. It's not going abroad on holidays or anything like that. It's being pushed into our own local economy. So
exactly. How are you going to spend your £100 high street voucher?
I'm fuck when I get it.
Yeah. Fucking storm bastards.
I know when I get it. But I actually was talking to one of the boys. He's in charge of the rollout in the local area, so it is coming. So
oh, it is. Is your place going to be accepting these £100 vouchers?
It depends if I'm classed as a high street.
Oh, fuck
equity,
me,
so
like, what is a high street equity? Just a shop?
I presume it just means like the high street.
Because people have been like, does it have to be a local business? Like, am I going to go into like Louis Boyd's in the town and spend 100, or can you go into like Curry's?
I presume it just has to be
a local shop,
like a high street business, like not an online store.
Yeah, as long as you spend it in a shop, basically.
Basically, yeah. But I think they'd prefer if you didn't go to Curry's with it.
Yeah, I'm sitting big on like, I was like,
you go down to like Downey's, £100 Downey's.
Here, I tell you what, that's absolute shite. I tell you, if I could, I've said this like a million times. I would die if I had full range of what I eat every day and just eat Downey's every day. What's your go-to?
Like, either chicken goujon roll with Southwest, or a large chip with goujons cut over the top of it on Southwest.
The goujons hit different.
But that was the beauty. With Downey's was like literally one of the only places you could get hot food in your area over COVID.
Yeah.
Like, they were literally one of the last places to close.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
No, it was unreal. If people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, just go to Downey's in Aries and thank us later.
Come to your area, just go to Downey's. That's all you need.
My order is chicken goujon roll with Southwest and cheese. It is fucking
I don't like cheese. Cheese is for mice.
No. Cheese is for your chicken goujon roll from Downey's. That's exactly what it's for. It's lethal, but yeah, go to Downey's. It's unreal. Also, Downey's, this podcast isn't sponsored, so hit me up. I've made that.
Just cut that bit out.
Yeah.
Other sandwich outlets are available.
Yeah, and other car washes, you bastard. But if you want the best, you know where to go.
Yeah.
So like, say whenever you're starting up your company, right? And like, you look at, I do business studies in university, so you look at the textbooks and it's like, you must identify a segment in the market, and you must do, Joe.
Yeah, like,
is that real?
The thing I've sort of gone for is like, you know, Peter Jones, he's written a couple of brilliant books about entrepreneurship, be the businessman and stuff like that, and like, one thing that always stood out to me is like, find something that nobody else is doing, or something that nobody is doing well, and just take it to a whole new level. And like that's what I try to do. So, but I would say like I done GCSE business. Nothing has helped me run my business today.
I stand by this statement. I learned more in GCSE business studies than which is very limited. Mind you, usually did it, but it's very limited. But I've learned more than that than having my entire degree of 3 years.
I think we were in the same GCSE business class, and like Miss Byrne, like I remember her telling me like I'll never have my own business or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah, and like it's just like
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't understand why people say that.
Honestly, don't look.
It's like careers teachers. Like, who the fuck ever said they want to be a careers teacher? No one set out to be a careers teacher. Like,
well, like I'm lucky, as I said, that I've learned from a lot of good businessmen that I've worked for, and like I'm my dad, he's sort of like a mentor to me. He sort of keeps me right, and
but
he has all these like wee sayings, like just sort of
go on, hit me with one.
Profit is sanity, turnover is vanity.
Lethal, yeah. See, it's like simple shit like that people don't realise though.
So it's like if you're turning over £1 million a year and making no money, like you may as well be turning over £1,000 a year and keeping £1,000.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's the other thing is though too, like especially the business that want to pick your brains and this is like to actually get it profitable is quite difficult because like what you're doing isn't cheap to get into.
No, it's
you
not.
know, and to like eventually get that return on it is you just have to accept the fact it's going to be a grind.
Yeah, and like the way I did it was like obviously, well, like my initial startup cost was £1,500. So like I borrowed that, got a power wash. Like I didn't even have a Hoover at the start. I just went and bought the chemicals and a power washer to wash cars. So 3 or 4 weeks later, gathered up to 200 or 300 quid for the Hoover, whatever it was. Got the Hoover, then started valeting. But like I just knew that the shit where I was going nowhere because I didn't have a shed and it was raining on me and it was starting to go in the winter. So I was like, right, I need to get the shed.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of, you can make it whatever you want. Like, you know, if there's boys that start up valeting and go to Halfords and buy the cheapest Hoover and the cheapest pressure washer, or even use their mum's Hoover or whatever, you know, I just wanted to do everything right because I thought it would give me a better standing.
There's just, it's like, I think people just have, there's different class of people in terms of like what you set out to do. Like some people set out to be the absolute best of what to do. And there's some people that set out to be like, you know, the cheapest, and there's some people that set like, and it's all different strategies. If you look at it, like if you actually put a business in and look at it, there's all these different strategies you can go for. But the thing that will always win, in my opinion, is if you're just better than everyone else, you have to, you know, you have to win. You know, if you look at it from just even like a sporting standpoint, if you put in the most work and you're better than everyone, you will win. And I think the same can go for businesses.
Yeah.
If you look at it from that point of view, like if you set out to be the best, it's not going to be easy, and you're going to have competition, and other people are going to push you. But like to maintain that level of being the best, you will see success from it.
Yeah, and like the biggest thing for me as well is like you always have to be open to learn new things. Like you know, I feel like I'm nearing the top of my game, but I'm still like. I was away in England there 3 weeks ago for a week's training. Cost a clean fortune, and I stay over there and everything. Like so, you know, you're never the best. Like it's always good to go and learn from someone else, even if you think you're up.
That's a humility thing, isn't it? Like that's just being humble enough to be like, I can do better.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's like, you know, you've built your business to a certain level. It's like, right, go and see how someone else is doing, so you can get to the next level. You know, and like if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now and interacting with the people I'm interacting and working on the cars that I'm working on, I wouldn't be doing it. And that's just a fact. I wouldn't still be doing this.
But and then the other thing is, if you don't keep, you know, taking that step up, someone else is going to overtake. You're just waiting. You're leaving the door open for someone else to overtake you. Like really.
Whenever I done a big job at the start, I went and bought like a new piece of equipment. So like, I like didn't buy any cheap shit at the start. I always bought the best. So like, I always worked the hardest to get the best. So I just feel like if you're setting yourself up in that mind frame, it can only go well for you as long as you're doing the work right.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're prepared to put in the work that goes inside it. Yeah, you're going to make fucking, you know, shit money at the start, but like, again, as we said, it's just about keeping that grind going and keep it moving forward.
It's about your perception as well, like, you know.
What do you mean by perception?
In that, you know, you have to just have a clear idea of where you want to be. You know, if you don't have a plan, if you don't know where you're going nowhere.
Did you set one of these? Do you know that people, you see these videos and people are like, right, I'm giving myself 1 year, and in 1 year if I don't get there, no?
Nah, not at all. I just, you know, started off in the car wash, built a good name for being able to wash a car right, then was like, nah, I need a shed now, this is just, got a good shed down the town, but a very expensive one, so I knew I really had to bust my balls to keep it, and built a name for being able to wash a car right, built a name for being able to valet the car, then just moved on to, just kept on going up and up, paint corrections, ceramic coatings.
It's interesting. I'm trying to think of like this traditional way in which you build a company. As you said, like you built your reputation. Do you think you built the company's name, or was it your name that was being built, or a combination of both, maybe?
Combination of both. Like I'm fortunate that I'm from quite a well-known family in Newry, which helps. Obviously, I have a good name. But one thing I did notice, like the first year when I was in the car wash, I went on holidays and like the car wash done nothing for the week.
Yeah.
Because I did have someone in working for me, so done nothing that week. So I was like, right, I am obviously the face of this business.
Yeah.
Without me, people want to come up with, to have the crack with me. They want to have their car cleaned by me. So I was like, right, yeah, I need to be here.
So did you find with like employees and stuff, like just no one was prepared to put in the effort, but at the same time,
when you're not there, they're getting lazy. When they're not watching, they're getting lazy.
I seen a good video recently of your man, Gary V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen a good video of him recently, and he was saying that like there was a guy, he owned his own business, and he goes, I can't get my employees to put in the same level of work that I put into my business, and he was like, of course they're not going to put in the same fucking work. They don't care. They're there to get their wage and their money and take it home.
Yeah.
Where you're there to build a business, build success, build your brand, build who you are. Of course they're not going to put in as much work. So like, as a business owner, you almost have to take that step back, and it must be difficult. I haven't done it, but like, it must be difficult to be like, right, you're not going to care as much, and I need to be alright with that. But I need you to give me certain output here, like,
and that's
the tricky part.
You and Sasha were talking about, like being friends with your employees. Like I'd say I'm quite an easy going employer as long as you put in the work. Like, but like I will ask a lot of you, but I won't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite important. But I tried to scale my business far too quick.
Yeah.
Whereas like what I realised is I'm better off just doing everything myself and charging a wee bit more.
Did you try to get yourself like out and just let someone else run it almost, or was
No. Like whenever I first moved into my new shed, we were cleaning 150 cars a month.
Okay.
So like you can imagine, that's like literally 5 or 6 cars, 7 cars a day coming in and out through the gates. Like, so there's a lot to manage there. You're just throwing money away at wages, throwing money away at chemicals. Like now that I'm just doing it all by myself, I'm doing a better job and just charging that wee bit more. I'm doing far better than when I was cleaning 150 cars a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you had to learn. You had to make that few mistakes.
You have to make mistakes. Like, but you have to be willing to learn too. Like if you can't make a mistake and accept that and like, right, this is where I went wrong. This is what I'm gonna do the next time. You're never gonna grow.
So scaling the business then, and getting as you said, like maybe reaching them customers that were more, willing to spend more money on their car and stuff like that. Obviously not an easy thing to do, even just to get people to come up, scale it up to 150 a month was obviously a big achievement as well. But to get that, like, there's obviously a load of different ways you can do that, but do you feel like word of mouth works best, social media work best, or like did you have to sort of have your hands in all the pots to make it work?
For me, word of mouth and social media. I'm lucky that I've been able to collaborate with some good people.
Yeah.
Like Leanne McCoy.
Yeah.
She really gave me a good reputation in Newry, and you need, there's no point in going and cleaning the local celebrity's car. Go and clean the person that everyone relates to.
Yeah. Okay.
Like makeup artists. Like local girls love to know what their makeup artist is doing or what their hairdresser's doing. So like, go and get those people. Don't be going and trying to get like a Newry City footballer or something. It's
not. See, people sort of miss a trick with social media and influencers and stuff like this here. And something I've learned, it's not the person with the most followers. It's the person with the most engaging followers.
Yeah.
So you could have 100,000 followers and 10% engaged, so 10,000 people, or you can have someone with 20,000 followers and 90% of their their client base will engage with their content and click on if they tag you, they'll click on it. And that's so much more valuable than just throwing money at someone with 100,000 followers when you're getting fuck all out of it in return. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm guaranteeing you've had people come on and they won't, maybe put a bit of extra work in because they have a name about them and they didn't give you a share or something. And you look at them and you be
like, I remember, I'll not name any names, but there was one particular local influencer,
right?
And I wrote her, well, do you want to collaborate, blah blah blah. Yeah, she said yeah, obviously. So I says, look, I'll do this and this, you're on your car for free. I think I done like near £200 worth of work for free on her car. Spent like 2 days on it. So it was pretty set what she had to do. Story posts, blah blah blah, because that's where she got her most engagement, not in her grid posts.
Yeah.
And like, the girl dropped the car off. She never even came and collected the car herself. She sent her boyfriend down to collect it.
No way.
Yeah, the whole point was she was supposed to get a load of photos of it, videos of it in my unit, below my sign or whatever.
Yeah.
And she never even came to lift the car herself. And whenever she did get the car back, she just done like a wee scan of the back seats.
No way.
She spent like 3 days working on her car.
And then what did that teach you going forward? As in, like, well, one, not work with that person.
Don't do anything for free.
Really?
Never do anything for free.
Never for free?
Never for free. make sure you're always getting something off them.
As in money, or just like
Money.
make sure you're getting
Make
exactly
sure
what you
you're
want,
getting money. Make
Money
sure you're
off
getting
them.
something off them.
so they understand what the cost
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Make sure they're aware of what you're doing as well, and don't go and like throw the duck at them. Just if they're looking something for nothing, wash and paper.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because they won't appreciate it.
No,
anyway.
no.
Yeah.
Because they're not giving you anything for it.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know. But
It's weird because you have to learn these lessons more, and some people's business, it'll work. Well, maybe it'll work, but
you
like
have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Like I can remember like sitting down in my new office down in that shed that I just moved into. Like business wasn't even going to go 6 months, and I was in this massive shed. Like, and it was expensive shed as well. And I was just like, right, what way am I going to get business in here? And I was like, right, I know what to do. I'll sit and write a message to every single business on Instagram, and right. And
No
that's what
way.
I did. Yeah. And McCooey got back to me.
No
I was
way.
really going to get, and like,
How many
you know what
businesses
the thing
do you
about
think you wrote
McCooey
to?
is, no matter, she didn't want anything for nothing. She always brings money. She would never take
Do you know
anything
what that
for nothing.
is?
Like,
That's someone who's built a business from the ground up. That's
Yeah.
someone that just still has that humility
Yeah.
about them and just knows, I know what you're doing here,
Yeah,
and I appreciate it
100%.
100%. Like,
100%.
and you're better off working with people like that. I think.
and like, I'd say I would honestly consider her as a good friend now. Like,
Mhm.
just off the back, clean her car. Like, and I go in there a couple times a week for a breakfast pop or
Yeah.
whatever. And like, it's just that relationship there. Like, we'll have the crack, and like, she shares my shit on Instagram.
Yeah. How many businesses do you reckon you messaged that day?
Oh, literally over 100 or so.
That's-
And like, so many didn't even reply to me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
It's annoying, but sure, what
Yeah,
do you do?
I was saying to you before we even started recording. It's the same with podcasting. You're trying to get guests on all the time,
Yeah.
and that is like, talk about a fucking job in itself. Like reaching out on Instagram and stuff like that is a fucking handling.
But
Like,
it's
it
funny
takes
now because like
ages.
a load of those businesses that I wrote to now come to me, and it's like you scroll up through and you can see that
No
message
way.
I sent, and it's like, right, I offered to do shit for you for free, and now you're coming to me wanting to pay me. This is pretty good feeling.
Yeah, no, that's nice because I have it in my head. I'm like, there's a couple of people that I've had. Like, if you don't message me back, maybe you didn't stage your request or whatever, I'll let that go. But there's people that messaged me before, not even fucking overly begging, just been like, I'll have to think about it. And like, I know what that means.
Yeah.
That means no. I'm not gonna beg you.
Yeah.
But I know
If
there'll
they
come a
wanted to
stage.
come, they'd just say yes.
Yeah, but I know there'll be a stage. It's like everything. It's the exact same with you. I know there'll be a stage where they'll come back sometime. I guarantee they'll do it, and it'll be like, oh, would love to come on, get a spot, and be like, oh yeah, I'll have to think about it. And I have no problem taking the low road. Like, it's
Yeah.
different when there's money involved.
Yeah.
Obviously, but
100%.
whenever it comes back to
Are you
this,
saying you haven't monetized this platform?
are you absolutely kidding me? Like, fuck me, the podcast grind world at the minute. See, the thing with podcasting is everyone has one.
Everyone's at it now,
But
aren't they?
I was talking to Nathan Smith on the Talking Smith podcast, and he was saying like we're just going to see a fall off. There's no way. It's a lockdown project for a lot of people.
I think like it's about consistency. Like,
It is.
If you just keep at it, like for me, like I remember one of my customers, he's a really successful guy, like worth 40 or 50 million. Like,
Mhm.
he said, like, don't worry about the money, don't worry about anything, just keep on doing what you're doing, and the money will come, the nice cars will come, you'll
Yeah.
get the right. Like, I spent a lot of time looking for the right customer base. Like, you know, if you're like a decal does not want to do work for you, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I get you.
whereas, like, for me, like, I just target like really successful people because like, if you're worth a clean fortune and you drive a Range Rover, you're not really going to care about paying £100 every
Yeah.
month. I'd rather clean your car once a month than once every 6 months.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not just I'm getting more money out of it. It's like it's easier.
Yeah.
Like I have customers there that like they're the only one ever in their car.
Mhm.
So like the whole car, like month to month, the lines could still be in the carpets in the back.
No way.
Yeah, because like there's no one ever, maybe them and the dog,
Mhm.
and that's it.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people don't actually believe in themselves that they can get them customers. You know, that they're
Oh.
like unachievable. Like
Yeah.
most people that like start out things being like, I'll even talk from this point of view, from my point of view. There's a lot of people I don't even bother messaging because I'm like, you won't get them.
Yeah.
But if you brand yourself in a certain way and carry yourself in a certain way, not long finding out. And as you said, with consistency, it only takes one or two of them,
Yeah. Like
and
if
then
you-
the rest will follow.
If you look at my profile, it's all high-end cars,
Mhm.
and that's the persona that I paint. But like realistically, today I was cleaning the Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
I'm never
Yeah.
going to post that.
Yeah.
Because I don't really post valets anymore anyway.
Mhm.
But like my girlfriend always says to me like, oh, like who with the normal cars ever going to book in with you? Going off your page, and I'm like, yeah, well that's the point. I
Yeah.
don't want to be scrubbing seats like.
Yeah. Because I've noticed.
Oh, man, I don't want to clean
I've noticed there's people that like
Becky
love.
from down the road's car that
Yeah.
hasn't been cleaned in 2 years since she bought it. Like,
Yeah. You want to get it to a certain level and just keep it
yeah,
at that level, like.
more or less, yeah.
And what is you don't want to be God knows what these under people's seats. Like, what's the worst thing you've ever found in the car? Are people disgusting? Like,
Yeah, you use nappies.
oh.
But like
People are wrong.
You have no respect for me if you're leaving your car up with that in. Like,
I would be mortified.
the least you should do if you're leaving your car in is, number one, take all your shit out of the boot of your car. I don't have time to be unloading everything and then neatly packing it back in. And take all your kids' seats out. Like, you know, I don't want to be taking your kids' seat out to not put it back in right. They're flying down the road, sound break, kids through the windscreen. But
as buddies with no kids, you have no like. Joe, the first time you see something, you're like, what the fuck?
See, the first time I had to disconnect the car seat from an ISOFIX point, I wanted to die. It was horrible.
It's so, Joe, something like that is such common sense to like a parent, and then whenever like someone youngest, you're like, it may as well, it's like a fucking bomb diffuser. You're like, what the hell are they doing?
And
this
people
thing?
can't believe it's like, you're only, like whenever I started, I was only like 22 or 21. Like, you're only 22. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. It's simple things like that I find are so mortifying. Like, you're just like, what the it's common sense until you know it's
one of the worst things I actually had to clean lately, and I don't know if I should say who owns the car, but it's a very well known local sandwich shop.
Right.
But basically they had spilt a pot of boiled ham and cabbage in the back seat of their car, and oh my god, I've never smelled that.
I can smell it
I don't
from here.
like cabbage, like,
that's
so
disgusting.
I've never smelled anything so bad my whole life.
Have you ever had a car that's busy made you like throw up? No. Or like close to it? No.
I probably shouldn't be saying this either, but local body shop repair, local repair shop had sent me up a Skoda Octavia, which was a taxi man's car that got flood damage, so you can imagine the state of it.
Jesus
it was
Christ.
full of blue mold and all sorts of
Surely that's beyond fixable, no?
living organisms, so I sent it up to my Dublin Road car wash to get done.
No way. Just send it away, like.
I just won't do something like that. Like,
yeah, it's not worth it.
At
like,
that stage, it's just like, no, I could leave it up to them, still get paid, still make money.
Yeah,
do that.
It's something like that, like unfixable.
Nah, it's fixable. Like, but you know, it's just I will be doing it. I don't want to sound stuck up or anything, but like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like,
no, yeah.
You know,
yeah, it gets to the stage you're just like, no, don't come to me with things. I guess like it's not worth it.
I'll just price myself out of it. But you know what the thing is? The beautiful thing about it is, if someone's coming to you with something like that, they want it done tomorrow. Whereas like I'm booked out for like at the minute 3 weeks. So like,
fuck, must be a nice feeling.
It is like, you know, people are like, oh, are you busy? It's like no busier than any other time because I'm busy all year round.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm very fortunate in that way that you know, I have good steady flow of work and it's always coming.
I'm gonna jump ship a wee bit here because I want to talk about our good friend Andy Malone. Because it's fucking like
game changer.
Yeah, the absolute game changer. Like you're saying, like a lot of your customers, like would you see him as like a friend almost now, or is he just?
Andy's
like you obviously see him different light than everyone else sees him. And
and like at the start he was like that, like Instagram person, but like Andy get on very well.
Yeah.
And, you know, he is just another ordinary lad.
And it goes back to like, if we throw it back to like, because I know people just like to, you know, go from
people love to hate, don't they?
Yeah, they love to hate, but if you actually put him in comparison to like Leon McCoy, who everyone loves, right? This is a weird fucking jump section, but if you put if you put the two of them together, like she's helped you with your business, you know, by doing you a favour, and he's done the exact same. If you break it down in very simplistic ways, Joe, by putting you in a story, like fucking good lad, looking at, he knows what it takes to run a business.
This is the thing, like people think that I was like torturing him to go and clean his Lamborghini. He actually asked me to come and clean the car.
Yeah, he came to you.
Yeah. So he said to me, like, loads of people are torturing me to come and clean my cars. I want someone to do it right, so will you come and do it? So
fucking hell.
And like I don't know if you follow him that closely or anything, but the first day I cleaned his car was like the first Trollbusters episode was released, so like literally couldn't have got any more engagement, like
yeah.
Because I think I cleaned his car like 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock Trollbusters went up. Like that day I think he was getting like more views on his story than he had followers. So it's been good to me. Like.
Yeah, it's like, well, in fairness, like it's like everything. Like you almost need to, like, you know, you sort of like you use Instagram like everyone uses Instagram. You use it to clean the fucking ladder, like.
Yeah, but I don't treat him like some superstar, like, because you know, in the grand scheme of things, he's not my most successful client. Like I have clients that are worth hundreds of millions, like so.
Yeah, so do you not find, like, see that first big wash you do, it's like a Lamborghini like that, are you not like, I suppose you sound like, I think I know who you're going to answer this, but do you not be nervous to do it and be like, I better do this fucking well?
Well, like, I try to treat every car the same, like whether it's a Lamborghini or a Golf or whatever. You know, I'm a big believer in following a process. So like, if you follow a process, you can't, like, I honestly believe I can take anyone and show them what I can do, because you know, I'll set you up with a process, and as long as you follow my process, you can't fuck it up.
Yeah.
So
I think, well, yeah, as long if you have all the tools there.
Too, so.
Yeah. You get insurance too. Yeah, definitely. Whenever you took them like employees, and you're definitely like get the insurance fucking wrapped in here.
Yeah, definitely.
And then who else? Is there any other like big customers you can sort of mention out?
I don't really want to be throwing.
No, yeah, throwing ideas. I'm just trying to. I'm
but,
trying to think if there's anyone else that would be like.
one of my customers would be very well known in Down.
Oh really?
Yeah, very well.
Nice. It just must be nice to get to that stage where you have them sort of big customers.
You know what it is, because like, you know, there's people who come and get their car clean with you and they don't respect you.
Mhm.
Whereas like, it's nice whenever people who've done that well in life respect you, like,
Yeah.
you know.
And do you feel like there's like a a correlation between the people that have spent money give you more respect than maybe people that don't have money, or like?
Yeah, like whenever you're charging someone over £1,000 to work on their car, like they.
My car isn't hardly even worth £1,000.
Yeah, but like. You know, if you're buying a car, it's a couple £100, like what's the?
Oh yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like.
And plus, like, a lot of these people run these through their business.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, you know, that's another thing for me. Like, you know, it's not really costing them anything. That's why they're more inclined to get it done more often.
Here's a hot take for you, right? So a lot of people I've seen these days are. I'm not saying any names, but anyway. People these days don't yeah, I'll tell you after. I'm gonna just say it anyways in general, right?
Yeah.
A lot of fresh start anyways, and here's how I know you're not gonna be successful in business. They'll put out a tweet, and the person that's listening to this will know who I'm talking about, but they'll not listen to this, so it's okay. Put out a tweet recently saying, why do Chineses not take card? Why do they take cash? I was like, if you're looking to start a business and can't understand why a Chinese would only take cash and no card, don't start a business.
Well, see,
It's fucking madness.
I try not to go on like that. Like, I always, if people say to me, how do you want to pay it, I just say bank transfer or PayPal, because you don't want to seem like a money hungry cunt.
No, yeah.
You don't want to be like, give me the cash.
Yeah, there's
all I
cash
want's
is
cash. Give me cash. Cash. You don't want to be a cash cow. So
Yeah.
like, I always like would say, I used to take card, but it was too. I just got rid of the card machine because it was pointless.
Yeah.
It's different when you have a higher turnover of cars coming through, you get more people paying. But if you're only doing one or two transactions, you don't need a card machine. I just try to keep bank transfer.
But like, there'd be people listening to this and like aspiring entrepreneurs and stuff. If you don't understand why a Chinese would take only cash and not card, don't start a business until you understand why that might be lucrative, right?
Basically.
Yeah. Fuck, it's madness. And I'm not even gonna say anyways. There was one particular girl whose name that did, and I was like, you have your own fucking business. It's clearly not doing very well. You can't understand something as simple as that.
100%.
But like, that's not even like, you're not going to learn something like that in school, obviously.
No.
Which brings me back to the point of like me doing my degree in business and you actually having a business.
Yeah.
I would almost guarantee, right? Not almost guarantee. I would 100% guarantee you know more about a business than I'll ever fucking know through a degree.
I used to say, like, I went to University of Life. So
Yeah.
like, the fella that I worked for when I left school, he's self-made and he didn't go to university, or like, he used to slag me and say, like, you need qualifications. And I said, fuck me, I'm more than you already. So what he said, just having a couple of GCSEs. But yeah, definitely I learned nothing that helps me run my business in the hobby apart from that and taking away. That's it.
Yeah. Prime numbers. Fucking prime.
But it obviously helps to be well spoken and.
No, it does. You learn skills.
Yeah.
I think skills are more important than what you learn in school. Like, for me, like, public speaking, like, for some reason in school, did you like public speaking in school? Like, you know, you had to do stand-up and presentations and stuff like that, no?
Oh, I've never really done anything like that, no.
I remember, like, doing it. And,
Even like this for me is a bit much, like.
Fairness, yeah. Because, like in university, like, we do, like, you do group presentations and sure people know all about it, like, and fucking people will be, like, sick having to speak out in front of people.
Yeah.
And I can never get my head around it, and they're like, oh, well, even before I had this, they're like, oh, it's easy for you never shut the fuck up. And I'm like, but, like, Joe, it's different skills, but I feel like in school, you, like, almost, like, you know, as you said, you didn't really do it. You don't really remember doing it in school, and that's a skill I find so easy.
If I even had to say something in class, I'd just be like a beetroot.
Yeah.
And then like, it's like, I remember like, why are you going so red? It's like, because you pointed it out, and you were all sitting looking at me.
Yeah. I used to be like that. Thank God I've gotten way better out of control. I used to go, bright red too. Like, it was fucking unbearable. And then over time, I don't know what it was. I think I crossed that bridge of not giving a fuck anymore. And then I think that's the thing that sort of like, you know, changed it all for me. I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm going to this and like calm myself down a wee bit. But you still get those moments where you be like, oh fuck no.
Yeah.
And you can feel yourself going redder, and people are like, why are you going red? And then you just get redder and redder.
Yeah, and like just going back to like why the customers get on with me and all, like I think it's because like I like tell them, like, if you get a flat tire, ring me. If you like, if something's wrong with your car, ring me, and I'll like do my best to sort it out for you. Like, you know, like, and I think like it's always been that way. Like, I can remember going down to help a young lad out with flat battery. 4 in the morning once.
Yeah, people get stuck
Who was
in all
that, Sean?
people get stuck in all sorts of weird situations.
Yeah.
It's weird how I've eradicated that memory from my mind right until that
I
one.
just actually thought about that
one
earlier
moment.
on this morning when I was driving the
That was back whenever I drove my family Jeep too. So
Yeah,
like, I was
it
like,
was so-
if,
so
if,
funny,
If
like-
it wasn't there in like the morning, like where the fuck, where the fuck's the Jeep? I didn't have my own car back then. Yeah, you do some sketchy shit when you're young, like.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, and it was funny because in the situation I was like, there's, in fairness, what you're saying is right. There's one person and that I knew is like, there's one person that'd be able to save this situation,
Yeah.
like, and he fucking
I was
answered.
like 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
and he like answered the call. I was just like, thank fuck, like, oh, I can't believe I forgot all about that. That's fucking terrifying.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Really.
you said interestingly before it started that you deleted your personal Instagram.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to what are you saying that it's like a personal thing or?
It's just a personal thing. It's just like, you know, what I'm saying on that doesn't bring it in my life anymore. So it's like, you know, I don't need to see people going on the piss 3 days of the weekend,
Yeah.
every weekend. Like, it's, you know, it doesn't do anything for me. Or it's just like, you know, I'd be a person who probably, I'd get like, you know, I'd be sitting looking at like, you know, say the group of lads are out that I'm hanging out with and I'm not out with them, I'd just be like, right, why am I not out there with them? Like, or
Yeah.
why did I not get the invite? So I'm just
it's
like,
not
right,
worse, yeah.
just get rid of that.
Yeah, it wrecks your head, like.
Focus on yourself. I would have my Facebook deleted as well, only my business page is linked to it and I have to have it to have the business page. So, but like if you look, like the last, I don't think I've shared an Instagram in a year, a personal one, and like all my posts on my Facebook are like lost dogs or just sharing my business page.
The important things in life.
Yeah,
fucking
lost
and
dogs
business.
are my business page. That's it. Like,
But it seems to be more of a trend now. People are like deleting their Instagrams and like getting off it and
I
things
just
like
feel
that.
like, you know, been there, done that now. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like I don't like. I have a girlfriend and I'm comfortable. And,
Yeah.
You know, I don't need Instagram to. I need it for business, but
Yeah.
if it didn't, I wouldn't have it. And that's
Yeah, like
how I feel. Like.
Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, business suicide not to have a social media account, like, but
Yeah, but
a personal account. No, I completely agree with you. Like, there's
I'm trying to like transform my business page into my personal page now. So like,
yeah.
you'll
So
start to
see
me
Beulah and
getting-
see Sean, like.
You'll start to see my face popping up on it. You'll start to see, you know, a bit more me talking and.
Have you
Yeah.
tried talking to the camera at all yet?
I haven't done any.
So-
I've
so-
tried it, never posted it.
Yeah.
But I've tried it, never posted.
It's
But
tough.
like genuinely, like, and this is another thing. I'm just too busy on the day to day to be fucking videoing myself.
Yeah.
I don't even post that many stories on my page that anymore. And I used to like be flat out at it, but
Yeah.
I just genuinely don't have time to be pulling my phone out.
I completely understand. Like, some jobs are looking at me like that should not be a job, but I completely understand why. Like, you know, there's people that run people's Instagrams. It's there's so much. See, to run like a successful Instagram account, fair play to people do it because you have to have time. Like,
Yeah,
it
and
takes
like,
so
you know,
much time investment.
there could be a month where I go and I don't put a post on my grid on my business page, and it's just like
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh my god, you haven't posted in a month." It's like, fuck me, I'm booked out for a month, so well,
Yeah.
I'm sounding like a dick. I don't really need.
I don't
to
need
post.
to. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I clean something that yes, I want to showcase, of course I will. But you know,
There's an interesting dynamic there where you could almost turn the business, like the Instagram page, into its own business. Theoretically, you know,
Yeah.
people putting their cards on it and, you know, stuff like that. Like, obviously, like there's just so many different avenues when it comes to, like, you know, social media that you can have, and it's just another incentive of why, you know, a good page is fucking
yeah, but people
useful.
will be talking like, "Oh, he didn't post any stories today. He's obviously on a day off or he's not busy." It's a complete opposite. I'm busier than ever because I
Yeah.
don't have time to post stories.
The people aren't talking to the people that are busy. The people
Yeah.
that are talking to the people that have no business. Like, literally is what it is. Like,
Exactly, and like, you know, it's not just about cleaning cars. Like, you know, you have to be the best social media marketer. You have to be the best accountant. You have to be the best blah 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 banker. Everything.
Yeah.
Like, business. Like, that's what people don't realize. Like, my day is not just going and cleaning the car and coming home. Like, my day is like replying to messages.
yeah.
Replying to time wasters. You know, I get so many time wasters. People just want to like, how much is and can you do it tomorrow? And it's like one girl actually double whammied me. She was like, how much is and can you do it in the morning? And it's like,
That's like the two sins.
it's like I would be shit if I could do it in the morning. And
Yeah.
another thing, I'm not just sitting here every day waiting on you to drop your car off.
Also,
Like,
who that urgently needs their car cleaned?
someone whose baby's been sick all over it, or their dog.
Yeah, that you don't want to be anywhere near it, like,
vomited,
yeah.
yeah, and like it's like, or like I'll tell you the best one. Like this inquiry is like people are like, how much is a full wallet? And you tell them, right? And then they're like, right, how much is a mini valet? It's like, right, you've just told me your car needs a full valet. You've just told me it's absolutely stinking. But you've also told me you don't want to pay for a full valet and you just want a mini.
That would be me.
So I'm not touching your car, sorry mate.
Yeah. Could you do the mini valet, the full valet for the price of the mini valet? That's basically the question they're asking. Like,
or like people will be like, how much is a wash? And it's like, I charge £20 for a wash. So people don't like that.
Yeah, no, I could not imagine. I've fucking heard like a local car wash is starting to charge like around £7 for a car wash.
Do you know what it is? Like, you have to believe in yourself, because like I started and I charged £7 and my landlord was like to me, you're never getting £7, like don't be so stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be charging that. You're never gonna get it. And I got it.
Yeah.
Moved down to town and started charging a tenner.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, nah, no one's gonna pay that. You're never gonna pay that. And then got it.
Mhm.
And then just started charging £20 because like I was putting an hour of my time and I was like, right, tenner's not enough here. I need £20 to do this.
Just for you to fucking cover you, like.
Cover, £20 an hour is not even that good
Yeah.
when you take out your products or whatever. Like. So, and people say I would never get it, but like as long as you can justify it, and like this is where the sales background comes in, because like I worked in Donnelly selling cars and all and all as well. You have to be able to sell your product, sell your service, sell yourself.
Yeah.
And then people will buy into it because like I can sell.
What is the trick to selling in your opinion? Like, because you see a lot of these people that are like uber successful, like unrelatable successful, but like someone that just like you sold cars and you sell like your business. What would you say is like, what would you say makes a successful salesperson?
Making them relatable, don't intimidate someone. Get on their level, speak to them politely, and just try and make a connection. It's far easier to sell face to face, I guess, than DMing over Instagram.
Yeah.
So like, I'll always try to get people to come up for a consultation, and we'll have a good chat then.
What do you mean a phone call?
No, just come up.
Oh, come and chat. Oh, nice.
I'll have a look at their car and advise them what they need best. But like I'll always say to people, like it doesn't matter whether you spend 500, 200, 100. Don't think this is a sales pitch, because like I have people that like will text me and be like, I want the best of everything. I want this, and this, full ceramic coat and everything, but they don't realise what that costs.
Yeah.
So you tell them, then they're like, it's a bit of a downer for them, but like then they're afraid to book a lesser service with you because they've come in all guns blazing. Whereas like I always say to people, like I don't care about what you go for, because like whether you book me for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, it's not going to affect me. Someone else will fill in those other days. So just go for what you're comfortable with and what you can afford. Like I always say to people, like I respect you far more for making the step and actually getting something done about your car than be getting scared off by a price and getting nothing done. So
because I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like as a consumer, from a consumer point of view, that is such a big thing. You're afraid to message someone because
if you've just come in all guns blazing saying you want to spend £2 grand in your car, or you've asked me for a package and I told you it's £1,500 or whatever it is, if you only want to spend £100, you're going to be a bit iffy and embarrassed probably.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's what I mean. As a consumer, that's a huge thing.
I always try to beat the stigma and just say to people, look, like it doesn't matter what you book me for here. Like fair play to you for making the step and wanting to do something about the condition of your car. Like at the end of the day, cars are depreciating assets. You're buying cars and people aren't looking after them. Like whenever you take that car back, people say you'll you'll lose more money in cars than any other asset in your lifetime. So like, why are you not looking after yours? Like.
Yeah, true. But then do people not say on the flip side of that, why should I put money into it if it's going to depreciate?
But getting your car cleaned isn't putting money into it, that's maintaining
it's maintaining the thing and making sure it's been looked after.
Yeah. So whenever you come to sell it, you can say, well actually, like I get it maintained once a month by Beulah Wash and Valet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, oh fuck, he actually know he does care about the car. Like,
yeah. It's
so
weird.
Just take it to Texaco and brush wash all over it.
Yeah, tell me about your beef with brushes. Like, I've seen that in your story a few times. What is the crack with the fucking wash brushes that you hate so much?
Well, they're mark the fuck out of cars, like.
As simple as that. Like,
scratching your scratchers.
Why do they exist?
Because people are lazy and want it done quick and cheap, and like whether a builder takes his van to me or if someone takes their Range Rover to me, I'll do the same thing on it. So,
as you said, you have your process there from start to finish.
Exactly.
It's the same thing that goes through.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell, that's.
And like as long as you follow the process, you'll always get a result.
That's so interesting. It's mad. I just find it so crazy. I said at the very beginning of this podcast, not something that's into my cars, but the fact that you talk about them with the passion that you talk about cars.
Well, that's
like I've had people sit here and talk about their bodies, and they're talking about more passionate about a car.
That's what I would be saying. And like it's not even my car; it's someone else's car that I'm getting passionate about. So like that's what I'm saying about like having respect for what everyone does, because like I take detailing very very seriously, and like it's a way of life for me, and like people are taking their job, no matter like. If you think the girl cleaning the dishes down the restaurants, she takes that seriously. That's her thing.
Yeah.
That's her gig, like, so you know, just people should just have a bit more respect for what everyone does, and don't think you're better than someone just because you went to uni, racked up a load of debt, and you're working some job for someone else. Like, guaranteed, most of the boys that went to like uni, I was probably making more money than they are now when they're in uni. So
no, exactly.
You know, money it matters, but it's not everything. Like, you know, your job satisfaction and how you feel about what you do is the most important thing. So don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Like, obviously, I was embarrassed at the start. Like, obviously, when you say you're a bookmaker or you sell cars, people like
there's stigma.
Sort of have a bit of respect for you, or like think you're in a good job or whatever. But like, when you say clean cars, they're like, alright, clean cars. Like, they don't, like,
do you find yourself now like jazzing it up, like for what you do? Do you try and like sell it to people, or are you just happy enough now? Just go, this is what I do.
No, look, it is what it is. Either you know about me or you don't. Either you're in the car clean or you're not. Like, and you know, if you're not, I'm not gonna try and big it up. Like, I remember an uncle of mine who, like, all his kids are real academics, and called into my shed once about like me selling a set of wheels for him or something. And he was like, oh, there was a 911 sitting there, and he's like, oh my god, that 911's unreal, blah blah blah, who owns that, told him the crack, blah 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 blah. And he was like, oh, there's another unreal one about the town of Silver, and I was like, oh, I clean it too, but like, he still didn't care, like, you know what I mean, he just doesn't care, and that's it. You know, he's no interest in what I do, and like, I find that about a lot of my family. They're quite stuck up about what I do, and they think they're better than me just because I clean cars, and it's like,
it actually,
you're
like,
really not. Like,
I just want to, like, I'm actually lost for words when people say that, because I can't get on that level. Like, I find myself very open-minded, and I can accept most people's like perspective and things, but I can't understand people that go on like that. You know, they can't find the respect for someone else.
People don't know. They think you're just washing cars for a favour. They don't know you're taking cars in for a week.
But then again, I think maybe personally it's different, because if I see someone from school or whatever is doing something different, I will go in, like, be rest assured, when you start your page, I went in and fucking went through and looked at every car you're cleaning, like, holy fuck, fair play to them. You know, like, and went in and did research. I get really fucking, what's the word, inquisitive about those things. I get really interested in it. And like, if someone does something I've never heard of, I'll be like, what the fuck's that? Go look and check it out, and you learn something about it.
If someone's doing something out of the ordinary, like, same as like when you started the podcast or doing the comedy, you know, like, I was straight on that, because I was just like, fuck, fair play to Sean for.
Tell you what, I said this on the
like, we may
podcast.
not been the closest in the alley or whatever, but like, fucking fair play for coming out and doing this here.
No, because
no one's doing it. Like,
I appreciate it, because like, there's people I would say, people I've lived with, there's people I've say best mates with, and not once even in person would they say, Joe, when seeing you out for a drink or anything, and like, people may not realise this, but like, you take those things, you know, you take them things you sort of remember those things, and you remember the person that shared your page, and you remember the person that gave you like, Joe, simple things like that. Like,
and like, it's all the lads that I wouldn't have been mates with in the alley, or wouldn't have known, or wouldn't expect that have been the ones who've come out and support my business, not the ones that I was pally with, or the ones who are maybe actually into their cars. You know,
it's
always
that's
those
what's so strange.
Respect,
you know, it's like, and again, it goes back to probably why we can sit now and say, like, you know, don't judge people, because there probably was a stage everyone's done it. You know, you've looked at someone at some stage and thought, oh, I'm a wee bit better than them or whatever. Like, everyone's been there at some stage, but now once you've been through it, you sort of look and be like, fuck, I'm actually way more relatable to the boy I didn't talk to that much than the person I thought I was best mates with. Like,
100%. Because like, in the alley, there's a lot, like, just in schools in general, there's, you know, it's all very clicky and very circly, and like, if one lad doesn't like what you're doing, then like, the whole group isn't going to like what you're doing, and that's just the way it is. Like, and you know, kids these days are, I think, worse than ever. Like, and
God, I'm glad I'm not a kid now.
There's no need to be, like, and it's just everyone should just. I think it's like something you realise when you get a bit older and a bit more mature, that you should just like, support what other people are doing.
I think it's a school thing as well. I think schools don't encourage you to accept things like that, and like, you know, if someone goes out and does something on their own, they're like, well, that's strange, or that's, the word is not normal. Is the one I always hear. It's not normal. I goes, what the fuck is normal?
In the Abbey, like, if you weren't going to university, there was, you know,
something
that's it. Like, if someone had come into the Abbey and told me, if you walk out right now and go and do a trade, you'll be on 50k before your mates are even out of uni, I probably would have went and done it. You know what I mean? Like, so
people have no idea. Like
there's boys there who done trades when you were going to university who are on big money now, and building houses and, you know, doing their own thing. And
people have no idea. Like, nobody wants to get their hands dirty anymore.
No,
like, and that's why like back like 20 years ago, you couldn't charge money you're charging for a car wash now, because there was loads of people that wanted to do it and get into it, but people don't want to fucking roll up their sleeves and get stuck in, and the people who are making loads.
See all the jobs like cleaning stupid things, like cleaning ovens and cleaning rugs and floors and all. Those are the best jobs, because no one's doing them, and it's harder to get those people now. Whereas, like, you know, like, nearly everyone in our year in the Abbey went to the uni.
Yeah, literally.
Like, there was maybe only a handful who didn't go to uni.
I think for me, going to university when I didn't get in initially and reworked it and looked at it, looking back on it, it's a buying time thing. Joe, for me personally, when you go to university, it was buying time and trying to take a wee bit more time to figure shit out because didn't know really what else I wanted to do. Worked a wee bit as a lifeguard, did our things, but like it really was. It's not free 4 years because obviously you're going to pay it back, but it feels like 3-4 years. You know what I mean? Like
I actually went back. There, I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. Actually, well, I'm on this business 2 years, so it'll be longer than that. I went back to Tech in Armagh to do A levels to go to uni because that's what I thought. Like
you want to do?
Yeah, my previous employer had it that much in my head that like you can't get anywhere without a university degree and all that. And I actually applied for a job in Paddy Power doing risk trading analysis. So like basically you'd be analysing their risk and trading it off. Stuff that I've been doing at the races for years and years. And a girl with an agriculture degree got it over me.
No way.
So like I have literally 10 years experience in the field of the job that I'm applying for, and a girl who done an agricultural degree got the job over me. So I was like, right, fuck, I really need to do something here. I was like, I'll try to do this uni thing. Or I went to Armagh Tech and done A levels, and I remember just like sitting down at Christmas time. I was studying for the Christmas test, and I remember just sitting bawling my eyes out in the middle of the night and like. Just been like, right, I actually really just don't know how to study. I've never studied before. I don't know how to study, and just like freaking out and just dropped out. Then it's like you know you're going from earning to borrowing money off your parents to go to uni or go just put diesel in your car to go to Armagh to go to Tech. Like, and just remember
to take a chance on getting something maybe for it.
Yeah, because like you know yourself when you're in the Abbey, you're in a structure. You're doing an hour of each class every day. It's always fresh in your head basically. Whereas like up in Tech, you're only doing like maybe do 2 hours one day, nothing for 2 days, and maybe an hour and then an hour, 4 or 5 hours a week of class. And like there's a massive spider on the floor there. I see a spider.
Before is it?
Right there. He's a big one too. You got him.
I see it.
Thank God.
Well, this podcast studio is coming like it's like a Bush Tucker trial these days with wasps and spiders flying and everything. I thought you'd seen a ghost. I was like, what? Just
like it crawled across my head. I was like, what? But yeah, just wasn't for me. Just couldn't do it. Just jumped straight back into work again. Like.
No, I literally couldn't. I couldn't blame you like at all because see now I find it really interesting. Like I really still I'm just not as good as what I was. Like I maybe work a wee bit harder for like university. Personally, for me, for my degree, don't find it overly challenging because I said it's sort of test really.
How many hours a week are you in?
9 hours is class. Like how the fuck is that full time anything? That's full time study.
I actually can't believe like you know that's one thing I always say to myself like you know whenever like a lot more of our year when uni like a couple of years back when I was working like people are only in 9 hours a week. I was always just sitting myself like why he's not working like full time jobs as well. Like
I don't understand. Like people would be like, oh, better head back. Like this year especially, I've decided to fucking wise up because like people are like, oh, you know, I've uni all this week. Like I have to head home to work on the weekend. You're in class for 3 hours one day. There's 24 hours in the day. There's 21 hours. You know, other hours you could be working and doing something, so you don't have to go home to your man and dad on the weekend. Like,
but it's like you know, on a technicality, Belfast is only 40 minutes up the road. Most people shouldn't even be living there. Like, should just be commuting.
Not a hope. Like I.
But like people used to always say to me, oh, do you not feel like you're missing out in uni life or you're missing out in Belfast? I used to fucking hate going and staying in the Holy Lands.
Did you?
If I went up to Belfast on a night out, like one of my good mates from the Abbey, he was in Coleraine, so I would have went up there a bit more often. Like, but like. If I went up to Belfast on a night out, see if I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, I would have been in the car on the way down the road. Yeah. I could not fucking stand it. It was cold, it was smelly.
It was the thought of it, I think.
A load of mould everywhere. Yeah.
I think it was, for me, it was the thought of going to university I really wanted. Being actually there and being home is fucking stinking. Like, there's nothing attractive about it, whatever. Nah. But it was the thought of it, and like, I definitely went through like hard times and being upset and like crying that my mates and all were in uni and I wasn't in uni. You just felt like a fucking loser at one stage.
I never felt like that.
Yeah, that's strange.
I never missed the whole uni experience. Like, I really didn't.
Did you get your buzz off like other stuff?
Yeah, like I just never had time to slow down to realise like like what I was missing because I was always away. Like you know. We could have been anywhere racing, like down in Galway for a week, 7 nights, away to Cheltenham for twice a year. You know, like you never had time to slow down.
Time is such a fucking, just making me realize, like, time is such an important thing to like hope, like value. Like too much time you get in your head.
Like I'm 24 now. You know, like whereas the last like 8 years gone since I was 16. Like you know what I mean.
it's like too much time you get in your head, not enough time. You know, you might miss certain bits and pieces they got there, and like the balance of just the concept of time is fucking. It's actually quite mad if you think about it. Like, 'cause there's some pretty much identical situations. One person goes, didn't really have time to give a fuck about university missing experience, and then me, with probably had too much time back then, was like, fuck, I used to get really upset and really down about myself. But if you had to do some sort of happy medium in there, or just kept yourself busy, would eliminate all them fucking shit nights and feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, like my brother, he's in a really good way in uni. Like he's studying medicine, and there's 7 of them live together, and they all study medicine, and so like they're all getting up and going the same time every day. They're going the same place. You know, they've got that drive to get up and go to uni every day, just because the other 6 of them are going.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like a couple of the boys I was mates with, you know, if you know one of their house was bunking off uni, they just weren't going, or you know.
That's the thing. The thing is, like, put yourself. If you take anything away from my podcast, put yourself in a good fucking circle. As you said, like your circle with, like, you know, the people around you support you, like family, other people that have businesses. Like, that's a fucking good circle.
Like, I don't need much. All I need is my family and my girlfriend, and you know,
Lamborghinis to clean. I'm joking.
Like, it wouldn't even annoy me as long as I'm getting paid properly for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm cleaning. I genuinely don't. Obviously, like realistically, Lambos are hard work.
Yeah.
Because they're so awkward to clean. They're such an awkward shape. You know.
You're a tall man too. Like, it couldn't be nice.
Just as well as I'm getting paid well for what I'm doing, I don't care. Like, you know, I genuinely don't. That's just
that. Yeah. I suppose that you've hit the nail on the head. Like, that's the important things. Like, you know, tick them boxes. Do you think over the last couple of years you've, like, whether you've realised or not, you've tightened your circles? I talked about, like, you know, maybe people you were friends and not as close with and stuff. And do you think you've done it for the better?
100%. 100%. Like, you know, like people get into a cycle of just doing the same thing with the same people every day, and I've definitely fallen into that cycle. And you know, now literally the only people I need is my family and my girlfriend. That's it. You know, I don't need anyone else.
That's a good way to be, like,
because you know, to be honest, I don't have time for anyone else. I don't have time even for my girlfriend. I saw her yesterday for the first time in literally 2 weeks.
Fucking hell.
And like,
that's a good woman right there.
But she's just come to accept.
No, yeah, that's me.
The way it's gonna be.
Just the way, like fuck you. I've definitely seen before some girls, you know, get like, oh, what are you doing? Or like, you should come see me. It's like, I'm trying to go. Like, it's nice to have someone to understand that.
You know, it can be the downfall of a lot of relationships because it puts a lot of stress on, especially if we don't live together or anything. Like, so, like, but at the same time, I can remember her getting on about that at the start. Like, and like, you know. And I'm going to sound like such a dick for saying this. Might tell you cut it out, I don't know. But like, I remember just telling my girlfriend, like, you know, my business was here before you, and it'll be here after you. So like, are you supporting me, or are you against me here? Like, so.
But see, that's not a dick thing to say. I hate when people like have that opinion, because, like, you know, this is, you know, what makes you happy on a day-to-day fucking basis. What brings home the bread as well. Like, if the person doesn't like it, fair enough. Not meant to be. You know. It is what it is. I know it sounds fucking absolutely ruthless, but it is what it is. Like, if people can't accept that lifestyle, then they're not meant to be with you, and don't waste anybody's time.
It sounds harsh, but like, you know, there's times over summer there where like I did not see my house in daylight for maybe a week. You know,
and that's summer, like, when there's hours.
Summer where it gets fucking dark at 11 o'clock at night, like, you know what I mean? You know, there's times you don't see your family, you don't see your dog, because like they're in bed when you're coming home, and they're in bed when you're getting up in the morning. But like, I wouldn't have it any other way, and like, I really do mean that. Like, you know, I honestly don't think I get enough out of a 9 to 5 to make it worth my while. Not monetary, but like satisfaction wise, because like when you're doing something for yourself, there's nothing. You know, I always tell people, like, being self-employed is the hardest thing I've ever done, and you know, there'll be times that like you go home and you be crying at night, and you know, you wonder why you do it and all, but it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Like, and that's just no two ways about it. That's just it.
Fuck, that's all right. I don't think I could end it on a better note. But I'll just quickly, before you go, I have one question that's itching my brain, and maybe you'll be able to have it. As I said, I'm not a car person, right? I have one question, and it's about the Northern Ireland cruise scene. What the fuck is the crack with the Northern Ireland cruise scene?
In what way?
As in,
so
like,
you're quite close to the epicenter over there.
I'm quite close to the Mickey D's B&Q car park. Like, do you deal with any people in that, or like, would you have friends in that?
I would have some friends in the circle, but I wouldn't really. They wouldn't be customers of mine, because the majority of them won't spend the money that I charge.
I don't.
Most of them are like Lexus with the exhaust cut out of them.
Yeah.
So.
See, when people have like nice cars, you're saying that, like, you know, you have like a fucking Lamborghini. I know they're not easy to get, but nice cars, like actual nice cars, and then there's boys that like a fucking Corsa from like 2006 that they've spent like $3,000 on like fucking parts. You're like, this makes no sense.
Well, like that's their pride and joy, like, you know.
Yeah, that's
you
what
have to
they
think
know.
of it, I guess, as well as like fair enough to spend $3,000 on a piece of shit, but like they might not be able to get insured and anything else.
Yeah, right enough. Like it comes down to that. Like that's fucking. That's the one thing I've never. I know I said we weren't going to judge people, but the Northern Cruising, there's times I say it, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way anybody has fun here. But I suppose each person to their own. Like and like, fair bet it. Just don't come revving around my fucking estate anymore.
Will not be me anyway.
No, not be you. Not be you. Sean, any closing comments or fucking? First of all, where do we find all your stuff?
You can get me on Instagram at Beulah Wash Valet, and same on Beulah Wash and Valet on Facebook.
So we're seeing more stuff on cards and more from actually yourself on it as well, as you're saying.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled for it there. And then what else? Any closing comments or anything else you want to throw out there?
Say thanks very much for having me and best of luck with
no
podcast. Maybe you come up and do a blog.
Oh fuck yeah!
Come life job.
No, definitely.
But it was good. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it'd be good. Potential word, maybe just preview this that you might be working on a podcast in the future or stuff like that. Could be down the pipeline maybe.
Yeah, it's something that I would love to do.
Fuck, I was meant to tell you my idea. Right, this is the last part, the very last
This
part.
is a business idea.
This is a business idea.
An investor.
No, yeah, right, potentially, right. No, if there's anyone out there, this is and I want to cut in this.
Don't be. Hang on. You sure you want to put this out?
No,
for to see?
I do because I'm not the guy that's going to be able to do it.
Right,
But
I'll take it then.
it's a podcast, right?
Right, okay.
It's a podcast of fucking two tradies going to work in the van and they just record themselves going down each day, do the crack, get in the van, well lad, and then just from whatever they say from Newry to Dublin, whatever journey it is, just record it as a podcast and upload it every couple of days. Do like a Monday morning and Friday, and you get the crack on their Monday and their Friday. I think I'll be lethal.
I think it'll be the same thing every week, you know.
No, I think it'll be lethal. Actually, in fairness, I've never worked a tradie, so I don't know. But in my head, I think I'd be interested as fucking listen.
Yeah.
Unless it's just shit talk, you probably know better than me.
Well, I don't have too many.
Yeah, you don't have too many tradie
tradesmen.
stories. I don't know. Any tradesman out there, I think that's a good idea. Let me fucking know.
I'd say a tradesman would be a good guest on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, that actually would. There's
Yeah.
fucking there's not anymore. People that want to do the work, but actually, right enough. If you are a tradesperson, you want to come on, hit me up. If you're any person that has anything said to you before you come on, I will talk to anybody about
Sean asked me to
anything.
come on very early in the podcast series, but I decided to sit it out for a while. And,
Sean was like waiting for the right moment, the right time.
just slide in
He was
there.
trying to build his confidence.
Yeah, this would be good.
It'd be
for
good.
me to go out and get the face on
Yeah,
camera now.
yeah. Put the face to the business, like.
Yeah.
Be good. But yeah, Sean, thanks so much for coming on. I really, really
Sean.
appreciate
No
it.
worries. Thank you.
And best of luck with everything in the future as well. Plenty more Lamborghinis and fucking all that there to come.
Hopefully
in.
my own.
Yeah, hopefully mine. Fuck's sake. And I'll see you all again, guys, in the next episode. Cheers, Sean.